Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Ellie Rutledge Silver with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. The details are out on the Omnibus Appropriations bill that will fund the government through the end of the fiscal year, with a vote expected later this week. Here to share insights on the impact this bill will have on immigration issues is Chen, AILA's Director of Advocacy. Greg, thanks for joining me. First, will this bill have any impact on refugees?
Ellie, the good news about the Omnibus spending bill is that it does not include anything that would harm or restrict or defund the U.S. refugee resettlement program. Ever since the attacks in Paris and Beirut, and even in San Bernardino, California, the focus has been on refugees, which has made no sense because refugees are so rigorously screened before they come to the U.S. and are not the security or terrorist issue here. But that focus led to a House-passed bill that would have restricted resettlement of Syrian and Iraqi refugees completely, and AILA opposed that. And so we're very glad that nothing was included in this omnibus spending bill. The downside is that restrictions are going to be placed on the visa waiver program. Now, AILA has supported a closer examination of the security screening provisions for the visa waiver program. But unfortunately, the House hastily passed a bill last week, and that bill will discriminate against nationals of Syria, Iraq, Sudan, and Iran, and will not really do very much effective to prevent terrorist attacks. So AILA opposed that bill, and it's too bad that it is now included in this omnibus package.
Thanks, Greg. What does the bill say in regards to EB-5 and other programs of interest?
So the bill includes a clean, straight-up extension, a reauthorization of the EB-5, Conrad 30, and religious worker programs, as well as E-Verify, through the end of the current fiscal year, which ends on September 30th of 2016. No reforms to those programs were included, so that means the EB-5 negotiations that have been going on for several months now and have been hotly contested were not included. AILA worked very hard on those provisions with the bill drafters, but in the end, we just weren't able to figure out a way to move forward, and they had to do a straight-up reauthorization. Reforms to the Conrad 30 program that were bipartisan and relatively non-controversial, unfortunately, were not included, and that's a shame because they would have been beneficial to the Conrad 30 program for rural doctors. A slew of controversial immigration measures that frequently come up on these types of appropriations bills were not included here in this omnibus package. That includes amendments that would have defunded any effort to defend the expanded DACA and DAPA programs that are now going through court. There have been proposals that would have prevented DOJ from even taking effort to the Supreme Court and defending those programs. Also, there was nothing included that would have defunded so-called sanctuary cities or that would have expanded the detention of immigrants. Those are all important issues, and AILA is pleased that there weren't inclusions of such riders on the omnibus.
Are there any issues that AILA members should discuss with their members of Congress during district visits?
Absolutely, Ellie. And as members go back to their districts and states during this holiday period, they will have many of these key issues on their mind. First of all, we need to say thank you to any of the members of Congress who took a stand to protect refugees. With respect to the visa waiver program, that fight is not over, even though we've lost this effort in the omnibus. Congress needs to be reminded for the next several months and years what a big mistake it was to discriminate against nationals of those countries. And AILA is the best entity to do that because we know how people will be impacted. And so tell those stories to your members of Congress, explain it to them because many of them still don't get it. Lastly, on the EB-5 program, the various other programs that were extended, as well as other programs like H-1B, we need members to keep telling members of Congress about the benefits of those programs. And in this year, as immigration continues to be extremely controversial, just as it was last night on the Republican national debate, immigration experts like AILA need to be telling people about the benefits of those programs because there's so much misinformation that just needs to be explained.
Thanks, Greg, for joining me. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates from the American Immigration Lawyers Association.